Bonnie here with a Mat Pilates class for you today. This class is going to have segments that we focus on the core, then we're going to move on to some work on the lower body, and then finish with upper body. You will just need a mat to get started, and we're going to begin on our backs. So you can lie on down, just feet flat on the floor, feel the width across the collarbones, heaviness through the tailbone. And we'll just take some arm reaches. As we reach the arms up, inhale to go back, feel the arms stretch long as the ribs kind of reach down toward the pelvis. And on the exhale, float the arms up and back down toward the table. Inhale again, stretching back, find length through the torso. And exhale as we lower down, just grounding into the feet, feeling the navel draw in toward our spine. Inhale. And exhale, press strongly with the arms. This is going to progress into an abdominal curl. So reaching back as the arms come through center, peel the head, neck, and shoulders off, lifting just off the tips of your shoulder blades, lowering down, and continue to stretch the arms back overhead. Inhale, exhale, curl and reach, eyes look to the thighs, arms stretch toward the heels, and lower it back down. Breathing in, exhale to reach through those arms, curling up. And lowering, controlled, tailbone is heavy, belly pulls into the spine. Reach, curl, and hold here. Keeping a stable pelvis, we're going to slide the right leg out long. On the exhale, think navel pulls to spine, which assists the drawing in of the leg. Left leg reaches long and slides in. If it does not slide on the surface you're on, you can just pick it up and reach it and bring it back in and pick it up, reach the other leg, bring it back and lower all the way down. Taking this again, curling up. If you need to support the head, you can bring hands behind the head here. Try to fold from those upper abdominals and slide the legs again, reaching and pulling in and stretch long, pull back. Inhale to lengthen, exhale to pull in. One more time. Pull that leg in, hold and lower all the way down to the bottom. Pick your hand position that works best for you. Come into another ab curl. As we march the legs, pick one leg up on an exhale. Inhale to lower. We want to draw the belly toward the floor, really keeping our pelvis as still as we can as we march the legs up and lower down. Keep curling up with those upper abdominals. One more each leg. Lift and lower and lift. Lower both, lower back down. Adding rotation of the upper torso. As we march the right leg, we're going to twist toward that leg. Again, hips stay square. Lower down, lengthen. On the other side, exhale up and rotate. And down. You want to pick up that shoulder blade while you keep both hips level and still on the mat. Exhale, twist. Inhale back. So moving kind of slower through our practice today so we can really build the exercises, adding layers in. So hopefully you really feel deep into the work and you can tell where each exercise is targeting in our body. Let's go one more each way. Rotate up and down and rotate up and lower and then release down. From here, we're going to draw both legs up to tabletop. Sink the belly a little more toward the mat here, and again, arms behind or reaching. So we're going to curl up here again. Imagine you're holding a tray on your shins, and then a cup right on the low belly, and lower down. Holding the legs nice and still. Inhale, exhale, curl it up, and lengthen and lower. You can always go behind the head with the hands. It may support the head. You might notice though that the ab curl becomes more of a challenge. So kind of a give and take there. Lengthen back. and curl up and hold. From here, extending the right leg long. Exhale, pull it in. Option for arms reaching, or you can always rest the head down, but be careful you keep that low belly drawing in so we're not arching the back. Reach the leg, pull it in. One more each side. Inhale, exhale, tabletop. Left leg reaches and tabletop, and then lay back down here. We're going to curl back up. This time hands do come behind the head. Extend the left leg. Twist to the right. Feel your inner thighs squeeze toward each other. And center. Try not to lay down here. Rotate around. And center. And exhale, twist. Back to center. Notice the legs both working. They reach in opposition of one another. Stretch long. And back. Exhale. Are you still getting that shoulder blade to peel off the mat here? Center and twist. One more each side. Breathing out and in and out. And center, lay it down. Curling up while we extend our legs. We're going to inhale, exhale, fold and lengthen the legs up toward the sky. Bend the knees and lower down. Again, exhale, curl. Decide what arm position. These are all just variations. Not one is more challenging than the other, but go by how you feel, how they help or assist you, or maybe make the exercise harder. And curl up and hold. Single leg lower. Take the right leg, stretch it down, and scoop the belly, pick it up. Left leg reaches down, scoop and lift. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, up and stretch the left. One more each way. Stretch the right and pick it up and lower the left. Pick it up, hold, draw the knees in, lay the torso down, and curling up one last time for this series. Extend the legs out. Both legs reach away. Inhale. Exhale, belly pulls to spine, lifting the legs back up. If you need a modification, soften the knees or go smaller. Twice more. Inhale, reach the legs away. Exhale, scoop and lift. And this time, reach them away and allow them to slowly come to the mat, keeping the belly pulled in. Keep the arms reaching long until they touch down and stretch back. Working the front side of our core. We're going to flip on over here. So you can sit yourself up and bring yourself to the belly. Hands come just by the shoulders here. And we're going to take a little mini swan. So it's as if you're kind of dragging your nose along the floor. Feel your collarbones widen, the chest open up, light on the hands. Think about picking the belly up and then lowering down. Do this again, reaching through the crown of your head. Press the pelvis down to float on up. Inhale and exhale. So the legs are active. They're not off the ground. They're actually pressing down into the floor slightly with the tops of the feet. Rise and lengthen to lower. Now from here, we're going to raise to our fingertips. Allow the elbows to elevate slightly here and float up so we really don't need the support of the hands. We're going to take our right arm and stretch it up next to the ear. Bring it back down. Left arm stretches up. Try to keep the hips level and square as you reach. Bring it on down and lower. Taking this again, you don't have to be very high. Think about being long. Stretch the right arm out and pull it back in. And stretch the left arm out and pull it on in and lower down. Adding both arms, we lightly press down into the feet, extending the torso up. Light tuck of the chin without falling. Reach both arms up. Bring them both down. Reset here. Lift both arms. and bring them in and lower all the way down. Great work. Now we're going to bend the knees. Bring the heels together. Knees are about the width of your mat. We're going to press the heels together. Press the pelvis into the floor as the thighs rise off and lower down. Again, gently pressing, lift and lower. Try to keep the upper back pretty relaxed. You're focusing on the legs and lower. And again, rising up and lower. Putting the whole back core together. We're going to float the legs. Straighten them, let them separate as we reach our hands back by our feet. We're going to circle the arms around over our head and then bring everything down and in. Float the legs up. Stretch through the legs, separate the feet, reach the arms back, circle them around overhead and bring it in. Twice more. Float the legs. Reach out long, draw the shoulder blades back and together, circle the arms around, and bring it on in. Last one, adding on to the end here, reaching back, circle the arms around up by those ears, and we flutter kick into swimming. Trying not to rock. We breathe in and exhale. Reaching through the arms, reaching through the legs, exhale. 2 more sets. Exhale. 1 more time. And exhale. And rest down. Bring yourself up and back into a child's pose. And up. And next we're going to move on to working our lower body. Okay, now to work our lower body, lie down on your back with the feet about hip width apart, arms pressing down by your sides. We're going to roll up into a bridge, tucking the pelvis. You're going to peel your tailbone. Now to work the lower body. Come down onto your back with the feet about hip width apart, arms pressing down by our sides. As we lift into a bridge, tuck the tailbone, peel and curl the spine off the mat 1 vertebra at a time, pressing into the arms, widening through the collarbones, keeping length through the neck. Then rolling down, keeping the head where it is as you create space between each vertebra, trying to articulate through them bone by bone all the way down to the tailbone. Repeat this again, just going nice and slow. After you work the back of the core, all those extensors, really nice to take some time to open them up, allow them to mobilize again. Especially as we get into strengthening the lower half of our body. We're going to take this again, articulating up and holding at the top. Now we want to really make sure we're pressing down with all 10 toes. Feel as though the inner thighs are squeezing toward each other. We're going to do a hip dip. You take the right hip and just let it arc down, trying to keep the knees relatively stable, and then squeeze the glute to lift that hip up. Other side, the hip dips down, and that's a little hard to see, and you're going to lift. So it's like if I had a level across my pelvis. I dip so that one side falls off the level. I squeeze and bring it back up, and then the other hip goes down. And we want to try to keep the knees relatively still. So in theory, you really still should be able to see both my knees. You don't want to shift, but keep them in line, and then squeeze and lift. And then the other side dips down, and we squeeze and lift. And do this again. Dip the right, squeeze and lift, and dip the left, and squeeze and lift. Keep going right, and lift, and left. Try to maintain the length through the neck, openness through the upper chest. And lift, and left side down. Squeeze it up, hold, and lower all the way down through our spine. All right, from here, lifting the hips up again. And back to the beginning of class, we did this leg slide. I'm going to take my right leg, try to keep the hips level as I slide it out on the table. Pull it back in, left side. And as before, if the foot doesn't slide, depending on your surface, just pick it up, place it down, and then bring it back. Try to maintain height of the hips, reach it out, and bring it in. Other side, reach out and in. The whole goal here is to maintain the lift of the hips, maintain the stability of the pelvis. Reach out and bring it in. And left side, bring it in, hold it. Next, we're going to march the legs. We're going to pick one leg up and place it down. Exact same idea here. Stability, working on endurance in the legs here as well. Pick one up and down. Upper body is solid and stable. Lift left and lower. 4 more. 1. And lift up 2. And lift up 3. And lift up 4. And lower the hips down. So we're going to do a little combination with these. Roll the hips up to the top. We're going to lift the right leg up. Reach it out long, tapping the table. Pick it back up and place it down. Left side goes lift, extend, lift, and bend. Right leg lifts up, extends, and in. And down, left leg up, extend, in, down. Good, left, in, out, in. 1 more set each leg, right, extend, in, lower, and left, extend, in. Both feet down, lower all the way down. Hug the knees into the chest, curl the head up. Just for a little stretch here. And then we rock and roll, our little rolling like a ball. Roll on up. And you can grab behind the thighs. Do a little back release here. Relax the shoulders down and tuck the pelvis. So you want to tuck so much that you eventually just roll back, roll up. And take this again, relaxing the shoulders, scoop the belly, roll back, roll up, and 1 more time. Take it back, roll it up. Very good. Coming on to our side. I'm going to come down to the elbow with the bottom knee bent and the top leg extended out to the side. From here, we're going to do a little series of leg lifts and hip work. Start with the leg that's extended and float it up just to hip height. So notice I'm not going any higher. I want to keep the line of the hip and float it down and bring it up. I'm going to place my hand here so it's a little easier to see. Eventually I'll add it in. As you're checking in on yourself, make sure that this shoulder is not close to the ear but pressed away and your side is lifted. And down and up. Now hold it up. We're going to bend the knee in so it comes up to the height of the hip. Extend it out straight and pull it in. The idea here is to maintain a level leg parallel with the ground. So I pull in here and I reach long and go 3. And you're trying not to move your upper body at all as you do these. In and extend. 1 more and we do a combination. We go down and up, bring it in and reach and down and up and bend and stretch. Again, lower, lift, bend, stretch and lower, lift, bend, stretch and hold. Pulse up, up, up. So maintain the upper body. Is where you might start noticing that hip. If not already, we're going to reach up with the top arm for 4, 3, 2, 1. And lower all the way down. Bring your legs around to the other side. So, elbow directly under the shoulder, bottom leg bent, top leg extended. Keep the upper body still. If we only saw you from the waist up, really nothing is happening other than stability. So take the leg, float it up and down. I want you to think about stretching it out. If you could make your toes reach the wall a little more every time, that would be ideal. Stretch it up, take it down. Stretch it up and down. With that exhale, belly into spine. 4, 3, and lower. Make it even longer. 2, and pick it up. Hold. Knee bends. Pull it in. Can you maintain height as it extends out? Don't let it drop here. And keep the height. That leg's going to want to lower down. Just gravity will take it there. So you try to keep it a little bit more lifted. Bring it in. 4. Kick it out straight. And 3. Kick it out straight. 2 more. Bring it in. And out. And in. We go into our combo. Take the leg down and up. Bring it in. Extend. Again. Lower. Lift. In. Extend. And down. And up. Bring it in. And down. And up. And in. Pulse it up. Keep the length. So even though it wants to drop, keep that height. Stretch the arm for 4 and 3 and 2 and 1 and rest all the way down. All right, moving on to our upper body portion of work. We're going to take a seat and start in a reverse plank position. So I have my fingers pointed toward my body, slightly behind soft elbows. So we want to be mindful here of the shoulder placement. You see here they're forward. I want to take my shoulders and bring them back to open the chest. And we're just going to take a little rock back. So I'm going to bend my elbows. I point them backwards and then press into the heel of the hands to rise. Eyes are up and lifted. Bend back and press through the hands. Be careful not to let your elbows come out, but really reach them back as if you were going to land on them. And maybe you even do that. Not falling on them, but lightly tapping. Take it down. Press to lift. Lower back. Press to the lift. Let's do 3. And go down 2. Press, rise one more time. And lift up. Now we're going to lift the hips. Pressing into our feet. Send the knees right over the ankles. Squeeze the butt. Look forward. Collarbones wide and open. Lower the hips down to the mat. Do this again. Press into the legs, working the back of our arms. Lift the hips up high and lower all the way down. Taking this again, press through the feet, send the knees forward, lift up, squeeze, and lower it down. And lift up and hold. We're going to take those arm bends from here. So I bend my elbows back and rise and back. Keep the eyes lifted, the chest is up. We have 4 and 3. Lift. And 2, and 1, lower the hips down. Very good. Coming to the side, I'm going to bring us to our hand in a kneeling side plank. Now we want to have the wrist be directly under our shoulder, and the top arm is reaching up. We're going to take a rotation. That top arm is going to sweep down and just touch down on the floor next to the bottom one, and then spiral back up. We'll do this again. Reaching around, you can touch down and open on up and exhale. The hips should stay square to the front. Turn the torso and open it up. One more time here, rotating around. And bring it on up to the top. Very good. Now we're going to come down to our elbow. So just kind of that variety of movement here. So on the elbow, I'm going to take a set of hip lifts. So I imagine that that bar above me, I'm going to grab onto it with my hand, and I'm going to use my side, my shoulder, my arm, my obliques to rise my hips up and then lower them back down. Being mindful, shoulder over the elbow. As I adjust, we squeeze and lift and lower down, controlled. So working the side of our body, but also the strength in our shoulders. Lift it up here and take it down and squeeze to lift and lower down. Twice more here. Squeeze it up and down. Squeeze it up and hold. Stay here. If you can join me, take the bottom leg behind your top leg and even gaze up toward the ceiling. Squeeze your inner thighs together. Keep strong into that bottom arm and shoulder, and bend the bottom knee in to bring it on up. And we'll swing our legs over to the other side. Starting on the hand, we're going to lift up. Notice my bottom knee, I'm kind of on the side of it. Body nice and straight. And we're going to rotate around. Just tap down, try to square the shoulders, and then open up your shape to the front. And again, rotate around. Exhale. Inhale as the body opens to the front. Let's go twice more. Exhale, twist. And open that shape up. That bottom arm is a constant, stays nice and still, and lift up. And then bring the hip down, place the elbow under the shoulder, bottom knee stays bent. We rise up, reaching the arm, squeeze the side, and don't just fall, but lower with control. Squeeze and lift, and bring it on down. Take this again, squeeze and lift, and lower, squeeze, lift, hold. Stay with this, or bottom leg behind the top leg, squeeze the inner thighs together, bring your focus up as we hold and breathe. Lifting toward the ceiling. One more breath. Bring the bottom knee in and come on up to all fours position. Turning and facing toward the floor. Fingertips pointed straight ahead, wrist under shoulders. Just take and rock your body weight forward, putting a little more pressure into the hands, and then rock it back. And do this again, rocking forward and rocking back. Couple more, just shift the weight, head stays in line with the spine. And one more time here, spreading those fingers out and coming back to center. Now take them a step further forward and send the hips back toward the heels, but not resting down, just hovering. We're going to come forward so that our shoulders end up over the wrist. Then the elbows into the body. We're going to come all the way down. And then we're going to press up and hinge back to that hover. So shift your weight forward, almost like you're peeking over the edge of the mat. You get to lay all the way down. Here's your push-up from the knees. Spring up and back. It's kind of like a quick, slow. We kind of melt forward, lowering down. And then bring it up and back. One more time, coming forward. Nice long torso, bend it down. And then spring it back. Now we're going to kind of reverse this. I want you to come forward, bring your elbows down, and you're going to snake through. They'll come up and lift, and then lower down and spring back. So we come down, elbows almost graze the floor, then they come up and we lift, Then we lower down and spring back. Just get as close to the mat as you can. So if you're right here, you can hold this and then spring back from there if it's too much, or come forward. Now right here you go up and over, lift, lower down, spring back. One more time, pick your option, and forward, lift, and down and spring back. Then come up into all fours, and we're gonna step up into a plank. Spreading our fingers wide, step one foot back, and then the other. So we're nice and strong with our arms. Think of that spring back here is like our pike. So we pike up. Look toward the hands, come into that strong plank. Option would be to stay on the knees here. You can pike up and then bring it forward. Shoulders over wrists, pike it up and come forward. One more time, pike it up, come forward and hold. Just find strength in this hold. Energy back through your heels. Right, belly muscles pulled up nice and strong. Head in line with the spine. Breathe it in and breathe it out. Breathe it in and breathe it out. One more time. Lower the knees. Big toes together, sending the hips back and down. Slide the hands in, roll yourself up, and just congratulate yourself on the good work, the fact you took the time to put in the work today. And thank you for joining me. I will see you next time.